All right, now folks, the reason I believe that the evidence is persuasive about what we're talking about in Daniel and Revelation is there's a ring of truth to the truth. And you know the news, and we're going to take you to some of our interviews with the top political leaders in Israel right now. All right, and you're going to hear how they assess the threats that are coming around them. So here is part of our interviews with leaders in Israel, as well as some of our commentary on the set for a program that we've done before. I want you to hear that, and then we're going to come back and we'll comment on it further. Watch this. As you look down at the nation of Israel from space, you realize how small it really is. Israel stretches only 263 miles from north to south, and its width ranges from 71 miles at its widest point to only 9 miles at its narrowest point. To the northeast, Israel faces a 47-mile border with Syria. To the north, a 49-mile border with Lebanon. To the east, Israel has a 147-mile-long border with Jordan. And to the southwest, Israel borders Egypt, and directly south has a small window onto the Red Sea. This map will give you an idea of Israel's landmass as compared to the 22 Arab and Muslim countries surrounding it. With all of this in mind, we begin with what Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, told us about the threat Israel is currently facing from Iran.
The militant Shiites in Iran are openly racing and boasting that they're racing to develop nuclear weapons, with the explicit announced goal of wiping Israel from the face of the earth, reestablishing the caliphate, of course under militant Shiite Iranian rule. The caliphate includes the territories from Iran to Spain. Developing long-range ballistic missiles first that are targeted to every European capital and within a decade to reach the eastern coast of the American mainland. If Iran acquires nuclear weapons, everything that we've been talking about will pale in comparison, because the power to extend power, to threaten, to realize the threats, to make good on the threats will be on a level that we have not seen, nor one that we can readily imagine. It will put the oil reserves of the Gulf under their sway. They could easily bring down governments or fold them into their realm. They will inspire and encourage the radicals in the various Islamic communities that they're targeting around the world, and they will be in turn inspired by the fact that obviously the acquisition of nuclear weapons is a providential sign of the coming victory of the true believers. And of course they might make good on their twisted ideas of ending Zionism and extending their realm by other means. So this is a threat to the entire world, and it cannot be seen as anything but that.
Like our American Speaker of the House of Representatives, in Israel, Mr. Reuven Rivlin is the Speaker of the Knesset.
I really believe that Iran should be taken care by the entire family of nations, and not only by Israel. Israel have to take care and to know that once they will have to face the threat of being destroyed by a possible nuclear weapon from the side of Iran, they will have to do, and we know what we have to do.
Then we asked Mr. Netanyahu about the threats Israel is experiencing from Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza.
There is a tremendous increase in the power of Iran's proxies, of Hezbollah and Hamas. So we have Hezbollah now with a tremendous base. And you can see that the international guarantees that were supposed to stop the flow of arms did nothing of the kind. And so we not only had 4,000 rockets fired on the Galilee from that base, but we now have 40,000 rockets, which are aimed at every part of Israel. And at the same time, the same thing has happened in the south. We've had, by the way, a tremendous increase in the power of Hamas. It actually wasn't only politically strengthened, but very shortly afterwards, it militarily just took over the Gaza Strip and kicked out the Palestinian Authority. And it's developed a base. They've rocketed 4,000 rockets, that's the number, since the unilateral disengagement. If we walk out here, there'll be an Iranian base here, right here, across this street, on the other side of the street. That's what will happen.
If you are somewhat surprised at the forceful words that Mr. Netanyahu used, you'll be amazed to learn that almost all of Israel's leaders view Iran the same way. Mr. Moshe Aarons was ambassador to the United States and served as Israel's important Minister of Defense for 3 different administrations.
The Israeli intelligence community is the #1 threat to the Jewish state of Israel. Would you agree with that assessment?
Well, that's correct, because first of all, Iran is the only state, unlike terrorist organizations, but the only state in the region, in fact the only state in the world, whose government, whose prime minister, president, I guess, Ahmadinejad, openly threatens Israel and says Israel has to be wiped off the map. So here you have a declared enemy. Now, Iran is not a minuscule state, and the Iranians are hell-bent on getting nuclear weapons. So when somebody is talking and working towards nuclear capability and tells you that you need to be wiped off the face of the earth, you've got a real threat.